What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. I wonder what program I just quit. Thanks for joining me for Sunday repair. What's today? Sunday Q&A repair shop. That blew up one of my glides. I blew up a motor on the other one, so we're gonna fix a couple of glides today, and answer some questions and whatnot. This is my full-time job. If you'd like to support me so I can keep doing this each and every day, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and yeah, click some buttons. And it's going to help a ton. Patreon helps me the most. It's the closest thing that I have to a paycheck. Lots of good stuff going over on Patreon. Some really good articles that I've written. How to PID tune the easy way, how to filter tune the easy way, how to troubleshoot a bunch of stuff like motor heat and oscillations and vibrations and whatnot. Bunch of social stuff on here. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, all the things. Over on Etsy, I have some pretty slick stickers and some hardware that might help you when you're doing micro builds. Over on Fiverr, I got a bunch of stuff going on. I'm linked up nowadays with Remy Tim. If you or somebody that you know is trying to get into this hobby, Remy Tim is doing mentoring, and he can help people get up into the air. This I will edit your drone FPV footage is actually going to get switched over to CiottiFPV. We'll edit your FPV drone flight footage. I'm really excited about that. And then these other three are what I'm really focusing on. Flight instruction, flight coaching. If you want to fly more like what you saw in the opening there, I can definitely help you out. I have about 10 years experience in driver coaching at the racetrack, so I really figured out how to take a really technical thing and break it down into bite-sized chunks to help people that, you know, are either just getting started off or even people that are really experienced, help them get a little bit better. And then tuning here and speccing out the best parts, build planning basically, so that you don't waste a bunch of money buying garbage equipment. So yeah, lots of cool stuff going over on Fiverr, T-shirts and mugs and all kinds of nonsense over on the Teespring store. If you really want to show your love for CiottiFPV, you can get some nice apparel here. I made sure also, if you just sort of like want to treat yourself to like a really good quality t-shirt, I made sure that I chose all of like the ultra premium shirts that, like, you ever get a t-shirt when you put it on and like you can just tell that it's nicer. That's what these are all going to be. That's why they're not $20. That's why they're $27 and $29, is because they're premium. See, it even says it right there, premium. See? Premium. Yeah, so, you know, if you're trying to treat yourself to a nice quality t-shirt, unfortunately it'll have my stupid logos and whatnot on it, but, you know, nobody will know. Maybe get this one, you can barely see it, and then just put like another shirt over it. I don't know. FPV Exchange is a huge supporter of this channel, and it's free to sign up, and Nevin was even cool enough to set me up with my own little shop over there on FPV Exchange. The way FPV Exchange works is it links up with other websites and it pulls all of the different items in so that you can price shop and so that you can look at what's in stock and things like that. And then it also gives you the opportunity to sell your own stuff. So these are a bunch of my stickers that FPV Exchange is pulling from Etsy, but then these stick ends, these schizo shirts, and this 3B hobby motor, these are items that I'm actually selling on FPV Exchange. And what's really cool is when you choose to sell something on FPV Exchange, it puts you on the same page as the big major resellers. And that's pretty slick, right? If somebody's looking for this motor, they're probably going to buy it from me rather than Newbie, Joan, or Banggood, because I'm selling it for $15 and it's brand new, right? Condition new. So yeah, get up on FPV Exchange, list all your stuff, and then if you're not using something, just flip a switch and it'll be for sale on the same page as all the big resellers. It's you're not going to find that anywhere else. So go do it. I may not I may have been back in the corporate world by now if it weren't for the amount of support that FPV Exchange has given me over the last 6 months to a year. So support the people that support the content creators that you love, and it won't cost you anything. Go over and browse around. It's a really great site. If you guys ever find yourself doing orders, or your friends or your family, on FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, Oh My God, FPV Crate, Banggood, Camera Butter, or AliExpress, If you hit my affiliate link at any point before you check out and pay, I will get 1 to 6% of your total shopping cart. These links are going to drive you to a specific item, but you don't have to buy that specific item. Just by the fact that I now click that link, CiottiFPV is in my shopping cart, and I will get, if I were to order something that is in stock, I would give myself, Get FPV is 6%. I would give myself a 6% kickback. It's basically my discount on Get FPV. So yeah, there's that. In the chat, lots of amazing people. Oh, I didn't even post it yet. Okay. If you want to talk directly to me and ask me a question, you can type CiottiFPV and it'll light up in orange. If you want to talk directly to somebody else, you do the same thing. Type their name, and for them it'll light up in orange. Or you can do a super chat if you want to support me and ask me a question. Get out of here. One of the other cool things on, and usually I do this before the stream starts, but one of the other really cool things about my Patreon is that you're going to get access to a very special secret Facebook group called the Micro Kings Castle with CiottiFPV. And on that group, I post reminders when I stream, because I don't really have like a schedule other than today at 3 o'clock Eastern and tomorrow night at 10 o'clock Eastern. So yeah, lots of really good stuff. The Patreon is super helpful to me. Here's what it looks like. Oh god, man, I am a fucking disaster today. I didn't hit publish on this. Patrons, you will now get your email reminding you to swing on by and hang out. Sorry for the delay. And yeah. So, let me get caught up on chat a little bit here. Speaking of chat, MotoRef was first, Riot9 was next, Paul McDonald, Patio Patterson, Matthew Gray, Dragonwing FPV, Love Drummer, Jason Crabtree, Arctic Quad, Ignition FPV, FPV Hawk, Aber the Ham, Scott Gillen, Patio Patterson again, Esk Race, RC Ritter, DQ, T-Bird, Double A, Aber the Ham, Mr. Z, Son of the Beach, and Ken Hill. If you want to hear your name read live on the internet by a strange man, you got to say something early in the chat. That's how it works. Love Drummer saying, what's up? These are all the folks that have tagged me. FPV Hawk saying, hey. Aber the Ham saying, hey, much love. Scott, RC Roscoe saying, I'm here early. T-Bird says, what's up? Double A says, good afternoon. Dragonwing says, hey man, hey my man, how are you doing? Not great, Dragonwing, but I'm here for you guys. And that's totally fine. RC Ritter FPV with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Very, very kind of you. He says, need 2 stacks for some 533 switchback builds. Jesus, why is that so hard to say? Suggestions? Something in stock? Oh man, something in stock. Pfft, that's the trick. I mean, all of my gear recommendations are down below in the description. But trying to find anything in stock right now is very, very challenging, unfortunately. I don't ever recommend that you buy a stack per se. I always recommend, mainly because I've yet to find a stack where both the flight controller and the ESC are good. So that's a 533 switchback. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that that's 20 by 20. So Acon ESCs are always your best bet. There's just absolutely nothing else that can even remotely touch them. So if you hit my affiliate link, you can then come in here and search for Acon, but it doesn't look like any of, oh, here we go. Well, yeah, so this is almost definitely what you want. And I know it's a little expensive, but you get what you pay for. So yeah, this is certainly the ESC that you want, which is the Acon AK32. This is not an affiliate link that I'm posting into the chat. If you don't mind, go to my website and hit my Get FPV affiliate link before you do your order. I think my affiliate link down below in the description is for the 35 amp version, but as a racer, you probably want to spend a couple extra dollars and get the super high amp version. And then in terms of a flight controller, this is actually a good little exercise because, yeah, like nothing is in stock at the moment. So let's take a couple of moments here to see what we got. So we're going 20 by 20. That's gonna. So the Diatone Mamba stuff has been getting some really good, I don't know, publicity, reviews, whatever, lately. If you can find a 20 by 20 Diatone Mamba flight controller, that might be a good choice. I've been hearing some good things. This Acon F4 is going to be really good, but F4 is a little bit annoying. I like to try to stay with F7, but my God, for $29, that's a hell of a deal. That would offset a little bit of the pain of spending $80 for an ESC. And realistically, there's no performance benefit whatsoever right now with an F7 over an F4. So at the moment, there's kind of no reason to not buy this Acon F4 other than wanting to future-proof yourself. But, I mean, if at some point Betaflight adds enough shit to where an F7 is going to have a performance advantage over an F4, I mean, at that point, you can just swap the flight controller out. It's not the biggest deal in the world. And swapping a flight controller out is not a terrible idea because the gyro does take a lot of abuse, especially with racing. Bashing into gates at 1,000,000 miles an hour puts a hell of a G-load into the gyro. So, yeah, that might be an option for you if you want to save a couple of bucks. So the Betaflight 4.3 is coming very, very soon, and it's not looking like there's going to be any performance advantages for anything that an F4 won't be able to do in the new Betaflight. So earliest, I would say like Betaflight 4.4, and I mean, they haven't even started working on that, I assume. They're still working on 4.3. So yeah, you could probably get a good, like, I don't know, my guess would be 6 months to a year out of this before there would be any actual reason to change. And for a racing rig, 6 months to a year, you're probably going to blow the gyro up in that time. So yeah, this might be a good choice for you. And before yeah, so technically speaking, the F4 flight controllers are not going to allow you to run, just in case in the chat anybody is calling me on there being no performance advantages. Technically speaking, an F4 flight controller, you're not going to be able to crank it up to 8K. You're going to have to run it at 4K. But I've talked to multiple Betaflight devs and black box people and asked them if they've ever seen any difference in flight performance in logs between 4K and 8K, and every single one of them has said no. So the fact that you can only run a flight controller, an F4 flight controller on 4K PID loop speed means pretty much nothing in the real world, right? Like if you don't fly for real and you just hammer on the keyboard all day every day, then yeah, sure, there is a difference, but it's not a performance difference, right? Performance difference means that out in the real world where we, actually fly, yeah. I mean, if you really want to future-proof yourself, this SP Racing H7 is about as fast as you're going to get right now, but $46 for a flight controller is kind of nutty. Although not really. $46 isn't that bad, come to think of it. So yeah, I mean, if you totally wanted to future-proof yourself, H7s are faster than F7s. So this would probably be good for the next couple of years, but again, the gyros don't last typically a couple of years, especially in racing, because you crash hard and often. And then that's about it on CiottiFPV. Yeah, Acon is really your best bet for electronics. They've proven time and time again to be absolutely the best for ESCs and flight controllers, but they're a little bit hard to find. They're not a big company. They don't spend a ton of money on marketing to sell 1 million units. Pyrodrone also has Acon stuff, and RDQ. in that order. So yeah, there's some. Hopefully that'll get you by, RC Ritter. Thanks again, super generous, man, for the super chat. Yarb says much love. Frank Nicholas dropping the link to the website. Thank you, Frank. Patio Patterson with a $5 super chat. He says Sunday fun day. Glad to have you. Thanks, Patty. Patty, very kind of you. Robin Duckett with 5. I believe it's pounds. He says, did you add that $40 I PayPal to the iMac fund already? Add this too. Thank you, Robin. It depends on when you PayPal'd it. Thank you. That is super generous, man. Let me come over here and look real quick. I basically make them red when I do things with them. Damn, thank you, Patty. Robin Duckett. We are going to go from 260 to another number. I can't do the math. 305? Is that the math? That's the math. Damn, guys. Thank you. 305 out of 1299 for the M1 iMac. Everybody I talk to says that the M1 apples are just ridiculously fast. I haven't actually researched it yet. Enough people that I trust have told me where I'm like, all right, I need it. The computer that I'm on right now is like 12, 13 years old. I spent like $3,500 on this computer way back when so that it would last this long. And it was ridiculously fast for a long time. That's one of the things I love about Apples is I can spend a bunch of money and get something that is just like absolutely solid, no bullshit. It's fast as hell for a long time, and then I can stretch it out and run it for a long time. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do that again here with the iMac. Fair warning though, there's a chance that the shop that has the Miata just continues to fuck me over worse and worse, and there's a chance that I'm just basically gonna have to walk away from that car and just let them have it. So there's a chance that this is gonna need to turn into like a Ciotti buys a car fund. One of the local pilots, P. Richard Scott, in the chat, Patrick, has been letting me borrow his Jeep. Unbelievably kind of him and his wife to let me borrow that. But it's been like a month, and they're gonna need it back at some point here. So I don't really know what's gonna happen. But fair warning, there's a chance that this is gonna have to turn into a car fund because I just can't not have a car. So yeah, fair warning. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I have no control. I'm just along for the ride at this point with many things in life. Freelojo dropping the link to Patreon. Thank you, Freelojo. Esk Race says, how you doing today? I'm struggling, Esk, but I'm here, man. Robin Duckett says, premium. Remy Tim saying hello. Steve-O in the chat as well. Freelojo here as well. Freelojo dropping the link to my specific FPV exchange. Thanks, brother. As well as the Patreon. Thanks, guys. YouTube's about to do the thing. There it is. Scrolling back up to try to find my spot. You fuck. Finn FPV's in the chat. He says, howdy, y'all. How's it hanging today? DQ says, sorry to keep bugging, but any word from Tommy on the 250 run cam cages and 3500 kV aero lights? Nothing, DQ. I haven't talked to Tommy in about a week. He did say that he wanted to have me on a Zoom call. Oh, I can't talk about that. Never mind. Wait, no, maybe. Oh no, yeah, okay. So there is news. Hold on. I just got to leave this view up for a second so that you guys don't see everything in my messenger. Here, look at this. There's something for you to look at. It's disgusting. Where's it at? I'll ask him right now. What am I asking him? Any idea when the 3500 kV motors and run cam hybrid cages will be available. My chat asks me every day. LOL. Yeah, look at this. So there it is. So it's getting there. I'm sure he's testing it a little bit. And then look at this. With the 4-inch props, there's almost no prop in view, which is really, really cool. I was a little bit worried about that. I was a little worried. I think the reason that there's more prop in view on the one side than the other is that I have to assume that Tommy is... So the camera, the hybrid is 19 millimeters wide rather than 20 millimeters wide. The cage is 20 millimeters wide because the cage was originally designed for the... God damn it. What's the company called? DJI camera. So I'm assuming what Tommy did is put a 1 millimeter spacer on the right side of the camera here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use rubber spacers, 1 millimeter rubber spacers, so that they'll compress down to a 0.5 millimeter. And then I'm gonna use them on both sides if I can. Or this propeller is just not spun all the way around. I don't know. Could be anything. But yeah, he's working on it. Tommy's a really, really, really busy guy. So be patient. He's doing cinema gigs. He's doing... I mean, he's got a lot of products, right? So let's be as patient as we can. It's pretty amazing that he's doing anything for... And that's not true, but it's great to have... I don't know, if I started doing cinema gigs on the level that he was, I don't think I would be dealing with products. You know what I'm saying? I think I would just kind of sit back and enjoy life, because cinema gigs like that, you know, you make 1,000 plus a day, so it very easily would pay the bills, and then you could just sit back and relax. But he doesn't. He keeps working and making cool shit for us, and that's pretty dope. Maniac FPV saying, what's up? Havboard says, thanks as always for everything. You're certainly welcome, Havboard. You guys make it, you know, a joy. William Loesch says, charging up for today's second round of flights, eating lunch in this, tuned in. Glad to be here again with the collective. Glad to have you, William. Michael Belch says, hello, new subscriber. Thanks for subbing, Mike. Very cool of you. Or Michael, rather. Ricardo says, greetings from Lisbon, Portugal. Crazy, man. The whole worldwide aspect of this hobby, it never ceases to amaze me. It's really cool. Doc says that Acon ESC won't fit in the 533, too tall with the heat sink. Well, that blows. I've never found any other ESC. I've never found any other company that makes an ESC that's worth a shit. So I have... Oh no, T-Motor. Check T-Motor. Well, see, I've heard exclusively good things about the T-Motor ESCs. I've not heard of anybody saying that the T-Motor ESCs blow up, which is crazy because that's very rare. So you might be able to get away with a T-Motor ESC. Fair warning though, I've never run one. I started running Acon ESCs like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, and they just never blow up. So I've never tried anything else. So yeah, you might be sort of on your own with the ESC thing. That sucks that it's too tall with the heat. My God, how fucking tight is the 533 build? Jesus. Guillermo's in the house. He says, hi there. Any word on Tiago? Yeah, I messaged Tiago, Guillermo. You should too. Say hi to him. I'm sure he would appreciate it. And he said he's just busy. Super busy with work, but he's doing okay. Robin Duckett says, got the Mamba stack with Race MK3 stack on my Ripsqueak. Really great. Nice. Another glowing recommendation of Mamba stuff. Skippy FPV says, great ESC. I run that. I run that and the Acon F7 Mini as well on my Switchback. So Skippy made it work. Skippy made that Acon ESC. Skippy, tell EE-Doc how you made that Acon ESC work. I'm assuming that you ran a really skinny receiver and VTX package up on top or something like that. Let us know. Let us know, because the Acon ESCs are worth a little bit of finagling to get them to fit in any and all frames. Maniac FPV says, what are some good motors for a 10-inch build? I want to build my first one. I haven't the foggiest, Maniac. I've never done a 10-inch build, so I have no clue. It's also going to depend on like if you want to run 10-inch tri-blades or 10-inch bi-blades. What you probably want to do is figure out like what the goal is for that build. My assumption would be long range. If it is long range, I would join the Facebook group Long Range Hooligans and ask in there. Those are the guys that are actually building those gigantic rigs. If the goal for the build is like freestyle or high-speed chasing or something like that, maybe still ask in that group. There's probably some people hanging out in that group that are looking to do that with big-ass builds. But yeah, figure out what the purpose is for the build, and then try to find a group of people that have done that before, and ask them. Unfortunately, the biggest I've ever built is 6-inch, so I can't really help with 10-inch, unfortunately. Sorry, brother. Jory is here, says you should make sure the M1 is fast at what you're trying to do with it. I mean, there really aren't. I mean, it's the fastest Mac. I don't know. I'm just trusting everybody that I've talked to knows what I do, and they've all said it's amazing. So I'm just sort of, yeah, I just trust them. Abraham with a 1999 super chat. He says, "Get that M1." Aber, thank you, brother. Very, very cool of you. 305 goes to 325. My God, am I glad that I didn't not stream today and give in to the fucking demons in my head. Thank you, Aber. Very, very kind of you, man. Very kind. You guys are fucking great. Dauntless says, love you, man. First time I came by was a few months ago asking about giveaways and crap. I asked about a first 5-inch you recommended. I built a glide. Look at me now. I made it yesterday. Very cool, Dauntless. Enjoy it, man. Beat the hell out of it. Break it. Fix it. Repeat. Let me know when you have more questions. Maniac FPV says, what shop, CiottiFPV? The shop is called GMG Performance here in Atlanta. They're the shop that builds T-Pain's drift cars, and yeah, so I dropped the car off, and then they dragged their feet for like 6 months, and then right before the election, apparently the shop is filled with Trump supporters, which I didn't know. And before the election, when I started posting, smart ass shit all over Instagram, they must have seen it, and yeah, it's not been good since then. So, I don't know. Robin Duckett says, car fund even better. Yeah, much more expensive though. We'll keep this small for the time being, and I'll hope that they don't. Yeah, there was supposed to be like a big discount because I did a whole bunch of drone work for them. I got like 6 or 7 or 8 hours into drone work. They'd agreed that we would swap hours, them doing work on the car for the drone work that I was doing. And now they've gone back on that deal, and they're pretending like we never had that conversation, even though the conversation is in Instagram, and I've sent them screenshots of it. So yeah, just being general scumbags. But hey, what do you expect? I should have done my research. Double A says sell the Miata to them. So that's been a conversation, and they're it wouldn't be selling it. It would be them just keeping it. Because yeah, they say it's not, whatever. We're not gonna get into that. I'm already in a horrible enough place. Sorry, guys. SuaveFPV says, what's the garage? Is 20. Andrew Duncan says, how'd your event go yesterday? Event. What event was yesterday? Yesterday I did my work trade at the yoga studio, and then I flew at the stadium, and then I hung out with Patrick. So there was really no event yesterday, Andrew. I'm trying to think of when there was an event. Was there an event Friday? I'm not sure what event you're talking about, Andrew. Sorry, man. Let me know what event, and I'll let you know how it goes. Son of the Beach says, to Tommy, where's the 250 4-inch at? I almost asked him about the 4-inch arms, too. Hold on, let me ask him about the 4-inch arms as well. Oh, come on. Facebook, don't be like this. Come on, Facebook, come on. Also, the 4-inch arms. My guys are monsters. Brian Ladmiraw says, one thing, the M1 runs on a completely different architecture than old computers. ARM instead of x86. The M1 doesn't jive with Betaflight at the moment, tends to crash. Awesome for everything else. That's okay. I can just run Betaflight on the laptop. Hopefully they'll fix that, though. That would be a little bit annoying. The main point for that computer would be streaming and mainly video editing, to be honest. It would really, really, really help. If I had to stream on the it would actually not be the end of the world to have to stream on the laptop, because then, well, so the laptop is faster than this desktop I'm streaming on right now. And I think I only need a little bit of extra speed for OBS to run properly. What would be really nice about if the laptop was my streaming platform is that when I went out and flew, I would just bring the laptop with me and I would be able to stream from flying every so often. So that actually might be kind of cool for the M1 iMac to be just an editing platform, and then for the laptop to be the streaming computer. That'd be kind of neat. Unintended benefit there potentially, but I'm not sure. But I hope Betaflight would eventually fix that, because that would be kind of annoying. RC Ritter says, thank you, 2 ESCs and 3 flight controllers ordered. Damn, RC Ritter, thank you, dude. Very, very cool of you. Very, very cool. Ignition FPV says, tuning in from Malaysia. It's 3:25 a.m. here. Dropped by after JB's stream. Good to have you, Ignition. I'm usually a lot more energetic. I'm just going through some shit in my personal life at the moment. So this is not a normal stream. It's usually a little bit more... I'm usually a little bit more uppity, but thanks for coming, man. I really appreciate it. Throw a subscribe and check out some of the older streams, and you'll see how it normally is around here. I'm just kind of struggling today. FPV Hawk says, I never blew up a single T-Motor ESC there. Amazing. I still think they're maybe made by Acon. Skippy FPV says, no, the SC will work for the switchback. I run it. So there we go. It looks like those Acon ESCs are fine. In the switchback. That's good to know. Dauntless says, EEDoc Tweet FPV runs the Acon 20x20 and takes off the heatsink. Yeah, so that's always an option. It's kind of a creepy option. YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up to find my place. Yeah, that's always an option, is to take those heat sinks off. It's kind of creepy. Be very careful, because yeah, you don't want to just put a screwdriver on there and crank it off. You're going to pull on the FETs really hard. I guess maybe you'd put some heat into it, maybe take like a heat gun and put some heat onto it to loosen up the adhesive, and then you can just pull up gently. But yeah, I mean, they put the heat sink on, so it will come off. They don't like weld it on. Even if they did weld on, they don't like rivet it on or anything like that. There is a way to get it off. Ken Hill says P60 is holding up strong. I think that's a T-Motor ESC, so there's another T-Motor ESC thumbs up. Big FPV says you can get the Acon without the heatsink or take it off yourself. Yeah, Get FPV doesn't sell it without the heatsink, but I believe Pyrodrone does. In the in the second rig that we're going to work on my red rig in a little bit here, that's actually got the Acon 20x20 without the heat sink. And it's been bulletproof. And it's even one of the old Acon 20x20s, which some people did have some issues with. When I say old, I mean like they're like 2 years old, so you can't really get them anymore. But yeah, some people had issues with the old school Acon 20x20. They updated that thing forever ago though, so if you have it, it's probably not that one. But yeah, it's been absolutely bulletproof, kind of crazy. Abraham says T-Motor, Speedix, Hobbywing. Definitely not Speedix and definitely not Hobbywing. I have blown up 5 Hobbywing ESCs and I think 4 Speedix ESCs. Oddly enough, so with Hobbywing, both their 30x30s and their 20x20s have been a total nightmare for me. With Speedix, their 20x20 ESCs have been fine, the ones that are meant for micros. It's their bigger 5-inch oriented ESCs that I've had a really hard time with Speedix. So yeah, I definitely can't recommend Speedix or Hobbywing for 5-inch rigs. I have had terrible luck. All of the pro pilots that I've talked to, or just the pilots that crash a lot that I've talked to, who are not sponsored by Hobbywing, have also had horrible experiences with Hobbywing ESCs. Hobbywing is a big company. They have roots in ground pounder RC stuff, ground-based RC. So they have a lot of money to throw around and a lot of marketing money, and they can sponsor a lot of pilots. And so, yeah, I'll kind of leave it there. You can fill in the blanks. Bob Noxious says, "What's up, people?" Wait, no, Danny R. Danny R. Next time you type my name, put FPV after it. Type CiottiFPV, and then what'll happen is, it'll highlight in orange like this. I just happened to see that you typed my name, but see how it didn't highlight in orange? If you put, and you don't have to put the @ You can just type, like Bob Noxious did, you can just type CiottiFPV, and it'll light up in orange. But luckily I saw your comment. It's a great question. What's a great 3-inch setup for cinematic purposes? So 3-inch outside of a Cinewhoop, 3-inch and cinematic typically don't really go together unless, I guess, you're doing like a naked GoPro. So I mean, to recommend, an entire build, I'm going to need to know a lot more. One of the things that I offer over on Fiverr is build planning, and I do that for either a half an hour or an hour. And for the first 15 or so minutes, I just hammer people with questions. Who's your favorite pilot? What's the use of the rig? Do you need 4K, or is 1080 enough, or is 2.7 enough? How big of a space do you want to fly this thing is? How fast do you need to go? Are you going to be around people? I have a big list of questions that I go through in order to get dialed in, so that the parts that I recommend and that the build that I recommend is actually going to work for the very specific usage. Because, if you're going to be flying around people versus not flying around people, that's a big deal. That's going to completely change the build. If you need to go 100 miles an hour versus 10 miles an hour, that's a big deal, right? Like, each one of those questions has drastic implications on how the build is going to be planned out. So, I mean, if you want to do this one-on-one, I would love to work directly with you. Just go to CiottiFPV.com, hit the Fiverr button, or just go to Fiverr and search for CiottiFPV. Or I'll just do it for free. But you got to tell me all those things. You got to tell me everything you can possibly think of in order for me to actually give you good recommendations, because I'm not just going to say, oh, build an Acrobrat with 1804s, it'll be great. Because there's a lot of uses where an Acrobrat with 1804s is not going to be great. So yeah, give me as much info as you either hire me over at Fiverr. I'd love to work with you one-on-one. We'll do a Zoom call or a Skype call. And then you can really get that one-on-one experience, and I'll explain why with a lot of these things. Or if you just want it for free, just let me know as much as you possibly can about the use case for the damn thing here in the chat, and I'll do my best to hook you up. And make sure you type CiottiFPV the next time so that it highlights in orange, because I don't want to miss it. Hang on. YouTube just did the thing. I gotta find my place again. Bob Noxus says, "What's up, people? Hope you're doing well. Getting batteries charged to take my 75-year-old dad flying. That's pretty cool, Bob. That'll be fun." Skippy FPV says, "Yes, it's tight, but it works well." That's what she said. I'm using the TBS Unify Pro Nano and the TBS Nano Crossfire Receiver and the Foxier Razor Nano. Nice, Skippy. Robin Duckett says, "Lawyer up." Yeah, I can't. I don't have any money. But it's fine. It's the cars are also not really worth that. It's not worth my effort or time or. I just, with everything in life right now, I'm just moving the fuck on. Just, yeah. Ricardo says, "I know very little about dynamic idle. Do you know much about this? Thanks." I know a little bit, Ricardo. The most important thing to know is that Mark Spatz doesn't bother using it, and a lot of the Betaflight devs don't seem to really care much about it. I feel like it was something that they kind of put in for the sake of putting in, but it doesn't seem to really have much actual effect. So for the most part, you can just sort of ignore it. My take on it is that it's very easy to set, and if it helps 0.1%, then it only took me like 10 seconds to set it. And yeah, if I get 0.1% of an improvement for 10 seconds of work, that's fine. There's plenty of videos here on YouTube on how to set it. So yeah, just look one up. And yeah, I mean, if if you don't have a lot of time, then I would ignore it, right? Like if you have a really busy life. But if you have the time, I would just set it, and it's not gonna hurt, that's for sure. Jackalope FPV says, "One day when I make it, I'm gonna shower CiottiFPV with money like he has a pair of double D's." Thanks, Jackalope. Long Guyan says, "Electric skateboard is the way. I commute with it to work." Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be interesting. Here in Atlanta, it's awful hot, and like I need to go. You know, I'm at work. I work at home here, so I need a way to get to clubs and bars and stuff to meet ladies. So I need a passenger seat as well to hopefully bring them with me. Ignition FPV says, "Hey man, can I send you a black box log and a snippet? It's an incident where my drone flipped out, but black box log shows the gyro signal went crazy, which caused the flip out, then recovering." I actually don't use black box Ignition. I use my ears and just many years of experience, and just, this is gonna sound like I'm gonna sound like a dick right now, but common sense to tune. That's not me being a dick. That's just, once you understand how the PID loop and the ESC and some other things work, when something weird happens, you can usually just kind of like go through a troubleshooting flow in your head and be like, okay, it's either this or this. And then it becomes pretty easy to troubleshoot. So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, you can certainly send it, but I'll try to look at it, but I won't really know what I'm looking at. I haven't used black box in like 3 years, I think. If you explain what happened in the air, that's how I can troubleshoot it, right? Like if you're flying and one of the arms drops and it death rolls to the ground, that's typically a desync, which is caused by a bad motor or a bad ESC channel. You take the motor off that corner and you switch it with another motor, you go fly some more, and you see if the problem chased. If the problem chased, then the motor's the problem. If the problem happens on the same side, then you know the ESC is the problem, you replace the ESC, as an example. So yeah. If you tell me more about like what happened, I can try to help you out. Michael Blade saying hello. Double A says, "I'm really curious what is wrong with the car. Feels like you get it back and have someone in the collective get it going again. Sorry, CiottiFPV, that this is such a touchy issue." It's fine, Double A. No, I'll talk about it some more. I got into the first accident of my life at 39 years old, and ran the car into the back of an SUV. and that bent the frame, pushed the strut towers down, pushed the destroyed the front bumper, both fenders, headlight, hood, pushed the rad support down, blew up the radiator, broke the crank angle sensor, intake, and a whole bunch of other shit. So yeah, that's what's wrong with it. Michael Blade says the M1 is a beast for editing. Our used DaVinci Resolve handles it flawlessly. I don't use DaVinci Resolve. I use Premiere, which is very, very similar. Ken Hill says, never had Betaflight crash on my MBP. I don't know what an MBP is, but from the conversation, I'm going to assume that that's maybe an M1 computer. Oh, MacBook Pro. Cool. Tiago says, Big Hood. Hey, there's Tiago. What's up, brother? Tiago, I have a package for you, man. I'm just really backed up on shipping stuff, but I have a package for you, man, from the that giveaway that you won. It's all as you requested. It's all my blown up flight controllers and ESCs and shit that you can play around with on your reflow station. So yeah, I'm gonna get it out. I appreciate your patience. All of you guys that have won stuff, I appreciate you being patient and not bugging me. If you need to bug me, it's totally fine. If you need something that you've won in the giveaway, like right now, for some reason, just bug me and I'll get it out. But yeah, it's just a fucking nightmare right now. Andrew Duncan with a $50 super chat. Dude, thank you so much, man. Holy shit. He says, oh, right, Andrew was asking me about the event. Thought you said you had an event Saturday to charge batteries on Friday night. On another note, stay positive and keep grinding, man. Appreciate your knowledge as much as you appreciate us. Dude, Andrew, thank you so much, man. That's incredibly generous. Yeah, so I was... that's funny. Yeah, the event, what I made you think was the event Sunday or Saturday, was that my soon-to-be ex-wife was coming here to the apartment to move all of her shit out, which is why I'm a fucking mess right now. Because yeah, I didn't think it was so much stuff, and it's the reality of a 15-year marriage ending, or a 15-year relationship ending, really hit me like a steel chair when I came home and like half the apartment was empty, and there was a lot of white walls and shit like that, and stuff that I didn't even realize was hers is gone, and now I'm like, fuck, I need to buy kitchen knives and all these other things. So yeah, that was what was going on yesterday, and I was charging a ton of batteries up on Friday because I knew that I wouldn't be able to be here. She wanted me to be here to help her, and I told her no, because I'm just not in a mental state to be able to do that. So yeah, that was the event. The event yesterday. What it actually was is that I worked at the yoga studio for my work trade, stared at some booties, and then went to the stadium to fly. That was some of the flight footage that you guys saw. Here, I'll play a little bit more of it, and I'll talk over it. I was actually flying really good yesterday. Yesterday was a good flying day, which was nice. That felt really good to be kind of dialed in. I tend to be pretty kind of hit or miss with my flying. Like, I will yeah, I'll either be really on or I'll be really off with my flying, and unfortunately when I'm really off, I crash a lot and break a lot of shit, and that gets really frustrating. I've been trying this year to put kind of like less pressure on myself and fly more for fun, because like, I don't know, when when I started kind of getting good at flying, like there became like this expectation of like, oh, I have to fly good and I have to get good footage and whatnot. And that's not great. It's not great to put that much pressure on yourself, and it kind of takes away some of the magic of that is flying FPV, right? So it's been nice. I really wanted to perch on that, but the FPV camera had a little bit more up tilt, and I couldn't really see down quite. So these Predator cameras have a little bit less field of view than I'm used to, and I am at like 30-degree up tilt, so that combination is kind of tough for trying to land on stuff. But the whole landing on stuff thing is just whatever. So it's fine. I don't do it often enough to be like, oh, I'll run less up tilt, or I'll run a wider field of view camera angle, or camera lens rather. But yeah, I don't know. Alpha Sauce says, hey Andrew, thanks again, man. Just incredibly generous of you, dude. Yeah, it really helps. So this is me, for the record. This is me trying to get a good, like, beginning to, like, I was flying good enough where I was like, all right, I'm gonna make an edit from this flight footage. So this was me trying to get like a half decent beginning to that edit. Yeah, that's why I keep landing. A lot of times I try to do that. Like if I have a couple decent batteries, I'll spend a little bit of time trying to get like a good opener to the edit. And sometimes that means, you know, crashing a bunch like this to try to do something really cool. This didn't, yeah, I mean, that was kind of clean. That was all right. There's a big, yeah, it didn't turn out well. That was a disarm and then a rearm there. And here I think I just said, fuck it, I'm going to fly. I was getting a little frustrated, and the props are getting beat up. Oh yeah, that's right. I fixed the, I bent the props back here. This might work, though. This might work for a little opener. Let's actually see real quick. Let's see. Let's see if there's enough of a run here before another crash. I think I crashed pretty quickly. Little mistake there. Ugh, another little correction there that I don't love. Ooh, that was kind of nice, though. I should have dropped down there. That might work. That might be the opening of the eventual edit. Alright, Alpha Slaw says, CiottiFPV in chat, what's a usable editing app for Android? Just been posting one-pack videos because I don't have a PC. That's a good question. Chat, do you guys have anything? I've never had an Android device, so I don't have the foggiest, unfortunately. I'm sure something exists, though. I remember this was a little bit of a rough battery. What else do we have? Ignition FPV says, stay strong, brother. Everybody's having trouble, especially with the pandemic. Yeah. Yeah, the virus really fucked a lot of stuff up. It really did, man. Thanks, Ignition. Banshee Frenzy says, don't worry, man, you're the best. I appreciate it, Banshee. Cool of you to say. Mr. Huggy says, the M1 iMac is a very good platform for streaming. It has a very good microphone and webcam built in. Oh, that's interesting. Based on the iPhone camera. I never even thought about that. That'd be a nice backup. Be a nice backup. Yeah, to have an on monitor camera and mic that were actually worth a damn. Brian Ladmiraw is in the house. He says, perfect for editing / stream. I just use my older Mac for beta flight. It's definitely a software thing. They will fix it. PC makers are also struggling to switch to ARM after seeing Apple's success. Oh, that's cool. Okay. That makes me feel better. Big FPV says RDQ has it also. I'm thinking maybe we're talking about Acon, perhaps? Maniac FPV with a $20 super chat. Bro, thank you so much. He says, love you, man. Keep your head up and keep moving forward. I will, Maniac. I'm very lucky to have you guys to kind of keep me focused and moving forward. Yeah, especially with how kind and generous you guys are. It really makes a big difference. So yeah, man, just always remember that. Like when you, it's you guys send me, a lot of you guys send me some like really cool messages about like how much I've impacted you, and like I try my best to kind of call this out as often as possible without sounding like a broken record, but I always want you guys to understand that you have a big impact on me as well. And like that's why I can do this every day. That's why, like, you know, it's I'm not back in the corporate world, right? Like I can go back into corporate as a project manager and make a ton of money, but like I just don't want to. Like I would so much rather hang out with you guys making no money at all. Not that I don't like, I make shockingly decent money because you guys are amazing, and for what I do, for the amount of hours that I work and what I do, like I should not make as much money as I do. Do I make as much money as I did as a project manager? Of course not. But I mean, 10 times out of 10, I would rather do what I'm doing right now, making even less money than I currently do, to be able to spend my time with you guys. This sucks. God damn it. This is all jello-y. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is all jello-y. That sucks, because I think there's a couple little decent runs around the stadium here. That's kind of annoying. That's all right, though. That's my own fault. I should have checked the props a little bit closer. But yeah, I really do want you guys to always remember that, yeah, you guys changed my life, and it's each and every one of you, regardless of what you do, regardless of if you just hang out here and help the algorithm, or if you leave a comment or a thumbs up or you subscribe, or like every single little thing does help, and it literally is the only reason that I'm able to do this, and that's a really big deal. Shouldn't have been flying over the street there, but I already had the momentum. A little bit of a faux pas, but this is my rigs are very locked in and they don't really fall out of the sky, so thanks again, Maniac FPV. That's very kind of you, man. I'm much appreciated. Gary Higgins says, "Hey dude, hi, 5555555s your way, always here if you need a vent, man." I appreciate it, Gary. Skippy FPV says, also I use this one as well, the Talon Gigawatt 4-in-1 20x20 35 amp 6S Heli Nation, holding up for a year now. So Skippy, I love that yours has been holding up. I was very close to going with that Talon Gigawatt 20x20 4-in-1. I talked to Cricket, who is sponsored by Heli Direct, to basically just ask him, like, hey, I just want to make sure that ESC is holding up. I'm sure that you're using it. This was a long time ago, and he told me that he had too many of them fail and he had to stop running them. He's actually who told me about Acon, and it said that the Acon ESCs are the only ones that hold up for him. So yeah, I've never actually run that Talon Gigawatt because Corey said he had a bunch of them blow up. Skippy, do you crash hard on concrete? Because there seem to be ESCs that hold up well when you put a lot of power through them, and then there seem to be ESCs that hold up when you smash them into concrete over and over and over again. The Acons seem to have the best of both worlds. I'm wondering if you crash really hard, really often into concrete, Skippy. From what Corey was saying, my guess is that you maybe don't. But if you do, I would love to know that, because yeah, every bit of. You said it's been holding up for a year now, and that's the kind of feedback that I'm always looking for. You know, when you guys go on Facebook and you ask people for gear recommendations, you need to really understand that most of the replies that you're going to get are from people that don't know what the hell they're doing, and or just built the rig, and that feedback is totally worthless. Like, if somebody just built the rig and they're telling you that the flight controller and the ESC are great, that's totally worthless feedback. Don't do anything with that. You want to hear from people that have been testing, have been running it for 6 months or a year. And you also want to ask these people, like, hey, how do you fly? Like, how often do you crash? If you never crash, then feedback from people who also never crash is what you want to value, right? So always be really careful about that. It's really arguably the most important part of actual feedback. And do everybody a favor, right? Like if you're going to go online and give feedback, volunteer that info. Like, don't just say, yes, it's great. Say, yes, it's great. I've been using it for a year. I crash into concrete a lot, or I crash into grass only. I usually crash like one time every flight session. Here's another fucking more jello. Again, you guys probably can't see it. Although, wait, no, now it's not too bad. It's just at a specific throttle. It's come from when I banged into that wall. I must have bent the propeller. Maybe I'm not doing with an edit. Maybe I'm not doing an edit from this flight footage because a lot of it is all fucking jello-y from banging the propellers up and not coming home and bending them back straight. That's kind of annoying. Oh, wow. I don't know if I saw that in the goggles. Some of this is usable, though. And that battery that I played on the opening was pretty goddamn good. This spot has a really weird flow to it, but it does have a flow to it. I've been here, I think this is the third time I've been here. I'm finally starting to kind of figure out how to connect some of these elements. Look at that. Did you guys catch what I did there? This is something I teach a lot in the Fiverr coaching. It's to use the fly with the throttle. Ready? See that? So you use a big, you're already rolled over to the side, and you want to cover that sideways distance there, so you just use the throttle. Leave it rolled over, big throttle blast, and it'll allow the rig to hug against that wall. Yeah, it's one of the things that I teach the folks that hire me over on Fiverr, and they love it. Little bailout there, that's okay. Try to hide it as best as you can. Man, my voice is going. I was hanging out with Patrick and Seneca last night, and we were screaming and yelling. I appear to have hurt my voice. Ugh! I remember that one. Oh, I think I might have been able to make that. What else we got? CiottiFPV is in the house. Kevin Smith says, so is your Miata outside, alarms, guard dogs? Oh, I have no idea, Kevin. It's been at the frame shop. They've been having a hard time getting apparently getting the strut towers back where they need to be. I mean, even if I could physically get it back, it wouldn't do me any good. It's fucking destroyed. I don't know. It's probably just time to let it go. Well, you guys just saw the whole conversation, whatever. Hopefully we didn't talk about anything bad. Don't go back and look. I have to check now. I might have to clip that out. Nope, looks like we're good. Alright, cool. There's secrets in these conversations I have with Tommy. I can't believe I did that. I've been pretty good about not leaving Messenger open when I'm showing my desktop, but it's tough. Banshee for YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up. Oh no, I can pull the chat over here now. Benji Frenzy says, do you take newbie on Fiverr? So here are, I'm not sure what you're asking, so I'm just gonna show you my Fiverr gigs, and hopefully this will answer the question. here are the gigs that I offer. This is going to get switched over to CiottiFPV. It's going to be CiottiFPV, edit your drone flight footage. The three things that I do are tuning. I'll help you tune your FPV, your rig for smoothest and stick response. I provide flight instruction via Velocidrone and liftoff, and then I help you spec out the best parts for your build. If you're a total new person just trying the air, this is going to be the one for you. I'll enroll you in FPV mentoring with Remington, or Remington has his own Fiverr. You can just find him on there. So if you're absolutely brand new, or somebody you know is absolutely brand new, this is probably the one for you, FPV mentoring. This is designed to get you up in the air. But the things that I'm working on are more for people that are like already in it. Although this is spec out the best parts for your build, that could be somebody brand new. What I don't do in here is walk you through how to get up in the air. I just talked to you about what you're going to use the rig for and stuff like that, and then I make recommendations on the actual gear to buy. But it stops there. I don't really talk much about like how to hook stuff up, how to configure beta flight and whatnot. That's what Remington is doing. So hopefully that answers your question. Danny R. says, very dope, thanks for your help. Definitely hit you up for a build. Sounds good, Danny. I look forward to it, man. Abraham says, I have a launcher that might be a little boring, but it's a 5-speed. Oh my god, Hyundai made manuals? Good on you, Hyundai. 100% reliable. I'd let it go for next to nothing. Connect with Discord later if you're interested. Sounds good, Amber. I don't really know what I'm doing yet. I have to wait to find out what's going on with the Miata, just because, yeah, I just have to. But believe me, if yeah, I try really hard to be open with you guys and let you guys into my entire life, for better or worse, to be honest. So if it's not going to work out with that and I need to buy something, yeah, you guys will know about it as soon as I do, pretty much. It's yeah, it's cool that you guys stick around while I do that, because it's you know, I overshare with you guys. I have a tendency to overshare. You know, it's interesting. Now that I'm having to like kind of start to think about dating and whatnot, I gotta get that shit under control. Like, we can't just meet a brand new person and dump every single problem that you have on them if you want them to continue to be your friend or whatever. But I pretty much do exactly that with you guys. And it's cool that any of you stick around while I do that. But that is that's what makes live streaming different than edited content, right? I've got 2 or 3 hours a day to fill, so I can either repeat the same FPV shit over and over and over and over and over again, or I can talk about my personal life, and just put it out there and hope that that people are cool about it, and that there won't be too many trolls that rag on me for being a 40-year-old that doesn't have a car, for example, right? And yeah, that's what you guys do, and that's pretty dope. I don't take it lightly. My phone is fucking blowing up over here. Hold on, let me make sure there's not like an emergency. There is. Restart OBS. Audio was messed up, but it just fixed itself. It's fucking weird. So audio's good now? Levels look fine. I'm gonna assume it's good to go. Thanks, guys. Alright, cool. Hopefully you guys missed me oversharing. I don't know. William Loesch says, what's an acceptable rate to charge 6S LiPos? Can I go above 2C? I think so. Everybody that knows more than me tends to say no. But I charge batteries 3C, 4C, 5C without any real problems. I'm also very hard on batteries. I crash a lot and break batteries pretty often, so I never really get... batteries never really last long enough, like physically, for me to see any kind of a degradation in performance. So maybe that's why I don't have a problem. Although I've had batteries that have lasted like multiple years, and I run the damn things every couple days, so I put a shitload of cycles on my on batteries. So yeah, I've had plenty of luck going up to 3C and 4C. But your mileage will vary. Brian Ladmiral says, Cinesplorer is much better than the Squirt. I have both. I've also flown the exact same components on both. I had a feeling that's good to read that, Brian, because yeah, like everybody that has Squirts that I let fly the Cinesplorer is like, oh my god. And then every Squirt that I've flown, I've said, oh my god, but I've said it like this. Oh my god. So, and it kind of makes sense. The Squirt came out like fucking 2 years ago, and then the entire industry copied it and improved on it. The Cinesplorer came out like late. Cinesplorer was one of the last Cinewhoops to come out. So it makes a lot of sense that it would take all of the lessons learned from the other ones and improve on it. It was buzzing really bad for 10 minutes. Audio's bad again. Hold on. Let me go down to the bottom of the chat. Come on, YouTube. What the fuck? So it's still bad? Alright, so I've got a text from Frank saying audio is good here, and then I've got a text from Daniel Maurer saying audio is bad here. And now all of the chat is saying audio is fine. Okay. So maybe maybe Maurer's text was late. Alright, scrolling back up. 10 minutes, god damn it. I don't really know what to do at this point about the audio. I mean, it's happening just at complete random at this point. There's like nothing to troubleshoot. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
諦めんなよ。諦めんなお前。どうしてそこでやめるんだそこで。もう少し頑張ってみろよ。ダメ諦めたら周りのことを思うよ。応援してる人たちのことを思ってみろって。あともうちょっとのところなんだから。俺だってこのマイナス10度のところしじみが取れるって頑張ってんだよ。絶対やってみろ。必ず目標達成できる。だからこそネバーギブアップ。
And we're back. I'm just gonna keep going. Oh my god, I'm really far behind. Okay. So let me go fast through the chat, try to get caught up. Because I was hoping to get some work done here today, too. It's been an hour and 20. Yeah, alright, let's go. I'm gonna go as fast as I can. Athix saying, hey, Abraham saying, nothing wrong with it, family just outgrew it, regular maintenance, driven kindly, new timing belt 80K, new clutch at about 100. Abraham says, once I get my new car, you could just take it and pay me when life turns up. Super cool of you, A-Rot. I'll definitely be in touch, for sure. Thanks, dude. Corey Gamble typed at Ciotti, he forgot the FPV, but I just happened to see it. He says, coming from someone that's gone through rough patch myself, you were built for this. Thank you for being here, helping us noobs and sharing your knowledge. Thank you, Corey. Very cool of you to say. I appreciate it, man. Kevin says, did you adjust ramp-up power, startup power on your 3-inch rigs? Yep. I've begun to move the ramp-up, startup power down a little bit on my 3-inch rigs. I don't have it like totally figured out and dialed in yet, so I haven't talked about it much. but you just open up BL Heli and it's just right there, and there'll just be a number and you just turn it down. Or for you guys, it'd be like this. You just turn it down a little bit, and it tends to really help. But I'll talk more about it. I'll talk more about it when I know a little bit more. Like, I'm just in the very beginning stages of kind of trying to figure it out. So, Double A says, Abraham, that is very generous. Yeah, it's super, super, super generous. You guys are ridiculous. Luke Beam with the worst idea in all of chat history. He says, buy a new car. Steve043068 says, try clicking the scroll wheel on the mouse to scroll the chat. Might help with the YouTube thing. Clicking the scroll wheel and use the mouse. Steve-O, I've tried. So the YouTube chat thing is just a known problem. We looked it up on Google the one day. It has nothing to do. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just bad. Ignition FPV says, sadly from the logs, it does not seem to be a desync. I did a front flip and the gyro signal went to pure noise. It's an X8, and luckily I did not have my camera on it. If that's the case, Ignition, that's an easy fix. Just swap the flight controller out, and you should be good to go. The gyros do die on these flight controllers, so yeah, it sounds like you've already got it figured out. Swap that flight controller out, and you should be good to go. Paul McDonald says, we love you, bro. Thanks, dude. Torktastic says, we're here for you. I appreciate it, man. Marcel says, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I wish I was near so we could chill, man. Love you, brother. It's all good, Marcel. One foot in front of the other. Dragon Wing says, sorry to hear, better times are coming. Fuck, come on. Scroll normal, God damn it. Might not feel like it right now. Bob Noxus says, I have all sorts of extra kitchen stuff and house goods. No problem putting together a care package for you. Thank you, Bob. Message me if you don't mind. Skippy says, how does clients like Insta360 Go footage? I was thinking of using it for more jobs. Insta360 Go footage is really only for mobile. So you just have to make them understand that. Like, hey, we're doing this for mobile. So we're talking Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Yeah, as long as you let them know that you have an option for desktop that's really high quality and very loud, and then you've got another option that's very quiet and very small and benign, you know, a 65 millimeter tiny whoop in my case, that'll work for mobile, and then you let them pick. And also a part of that is what's your budget, because if they've got a $100, $200, $300 budget, it's going to be a mobile project. If they've got a $1,000 budget, now we can talk about putting a Hero 8 up in the air. It's also kind of work specific, right? Like the work that I've been doing with the yoga studio, the Cinesplore is not really an option. Like you can't, it's just too noisy and too sketchy to expect a whole bunch of paying yoga students to allow that thing to wail around inside when they're trying to fucking chill out. So yeah, it's it's an option that's, and you have to that's the approach, in my opinion, is like, hey, I've got two options for you: really good cinematic quality or really good mobile quality, and away you go. Doc says, after having a bad flight and being tilted, have you ever just taken off the GoPro and do a pack of just flying for fun or as a palate cleanser? I don't, Doc, because my tunes are very specifically dialed in for the weight of the GoPro. If I pull the GoPro off, the pitch axis becomes way overactive. If you leave your tunes somewhat stock, so the stock Betaflight tune is for racing rigs, so it has a little bit more authority on the pitch axis over the roll axis. For a freestyle rig with a shitload of extra weight on the pitch axis, you really need to turn the pitch P and D gains up quite a bit to control the pitch axis in the same, with the same amount of authority as you have control over the roll axis. So then once you've done that, which is what I do with all my tunes, I talk about that a good amount on here. Once I've done that, if I then remove that extra 80 to 120 grams off the nose, that axis, it just becomes a mess. So yeah, I always have the GoPro on my rigs. Plus, like, you never know when something like really nuts is gonna happen. So yeah, I always try to keep a GoPro on and recording, because the flow can happen at any point. You know, I might be like super pissed off, I might be in a good place. I like to keep a Session 5 on the rig at all times, because some of the craziest shit has happened when I've been flying terribly. And then you never know. Double A says, I've been in that exact place before, gone down this road, sadly to say. I don't have any advice, but I can listen and be here. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, there's really no advice that's going to help. Like, you just have to put your head down and you know, run forward into it as hard as you possibly can. Andrew Duncan with a $20 super chat, bro. Super generous. Thank you, man. Thank you. I can sympathize with you. Been through it too. If you ever need to just check, take your mind off stuff, you got my info on Patreon. But I appreciate it, Andrew. Very, very cool of you. Super generous too, man. Love it. FinFPV says, crashing into things makes for good transitions, though. It's true. I think that's one of FinFPV's signatures in his editing, is to use crashes for transitions. I never really thought to do that. It's super interesting. I usually remove all the crashes and then I'll put them in at the end, just like kind of for funsies. But it's cool. It's cool that Finn uses the crashes as transitions. That's a really neat thing to do with them. YouTube just did the thing. I'm gonna light it on fire. Tark61 says, what's the tallest dive that you have done? That would be the 1,100 foot radio tower dive from a couple of weeks ago, which is on my channel, which, if Comcast would ever get their shit together, we would be able to take a quick look at here. I'm not going to be able to give you guys the audio of it, but I'll just give you the video of it. This was actually also a tandem dive that I did with Remy Tim. You guys have probably seen his footage, because his footage got a ton of really good coverage. My footage hasn't really gotten picked up anywhere. So yeah, this is me behind him, which is pretty goddamn cool. Pretty special to have such a big dive with two of us and with third-person footage. Kevin says, did you adjust ramp up power, startup power on your 3-inch? We talked about that. Quadzimoto with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Quadzy. Very cool of you. He says, to help buy knives, spoons, and forks, you the best, Ciotti. Thanks for all your help, my bro. Thank you so much, Quadzimoto. That's very, very cool of you. Knives, spoons, and forks, I'm fine, but I just need new. I need to buy a like an actual set of kitchen knives for actual cooking, because I've been teaching myself to cook since my soon-to-be ex-wife has handled all of the cooking. One of her hobbies was cooking, so I just never really had to learn to cook because she always loved doing it and was willing to do it. Probably one of the reasons that she's gone now. Should have learned sooner. Brian Ladmiraw says, I just ordered you some kitchen knives, man. We got you during rough times, bud. Thanks, Brian. That's very cool of you, man. I'll do me a favor, Brian. Send me a message, because send me a message. Let's talk after the stream here. And then this is just me doing the dive alone. I was on 6S, Daniel was on 4S. So I was able to rip up and down 3 times. He could only rip up and down 2 times. It was really cool to see the efficiency difference between 4S and 6S between the two of us. Because on the way up the tower, we were dug into the throttle pretty good. And that's really where 6S becomes more efficient than 4S. So that was kind of cool. SkippyFPV says, yes, I crash all the time. Mostly trees, concrete gates. 70-100% throttle running on 6S, by the way. Very cool, Skippy. I love that. That gigawatt is dealing with crashes, because Yeah, maybe they changed something to improve it a little bit. Ricardo says, you just mentioned jello in your footage due to bent props. Could an ND filter on the GoPro have helped the footage? Absolutely, Ricardo. Really good call. So the stadium flying yesterday, I don't know if you actually noticed this, but here's the full explanation of why. Okay, so let me take a step back. ND filters won't always just magically reduce jello. I'm not saying that this is what you were saying, Ricardo. For all I know, you are a photographer and understand exactly what ND filters do. I'm just giving the full answer because this is misunderstood by lots and lots and lots of people, okay? ND filters are not just an instant cure-all for jello. The shutter speed that your GoPro is running at is what's related to jello. As the shutter speed increases, which happens when there's a lot of light, like in the middle of the day, like when I was flying yesterday, that's what will really bring jello out. If your rig is perfectly clean, then you're fine in that scenario. But if you smash into a bunch of concrete walls and your props get bent up, your rig is no longer clean. So, the props being bent up is the main cause of the jello, but the secondary cause is that I was flying in the middle of the day, bright overhead sunlight. Most of the times that I fly is golden hour, when there's not a lot of light. And that will bring the shutter, that will slow the shutter speed down. And then even if I have banged up props, it won't show jello because the shutter speed is slowed down. An ND filter in the middle of the day, all an ND filter is a pair of sunglasses. So a pair of sunglasses in the middle of the day reduces the amount of light coming in, and it will slow the shutter speed down, and that will take care of jello. That is the easiest possible way to think about jello and ND filters and shutter speed. I'm going to stop there. I can keep talking about this for the next 15 minutes. But there's kind of no reason to. That is the absolute best way to understand jello, shutter speed, and ND filters. Next, I do need to get caught up on chat. Really good comment and thought, Ricardo. Jackalope says, one day YouTube is going to do the thing and CiottiFPV is going to crack and throw that computer out the window. I hope not. There's where the audio goes to shit. That was at 4:07. Oh my god, I'm 20 minutes behind. Shane Ridge says audio's bugging. Robin Duggett, audio's gone bad. Aliens, Doc says your mic is making your voice sound like you're talking through a bumblebee. Paul McDonald says audio shows back with a $2 super chat. Thanks, Paul. Paul McDonald trying to troubleshoot this the right way. I should keep. I usually wait to see the super chats in the chat itself, but I should keep YouTube Studio here. I should keep it on viewer activity because then the super chats will pop up here. I usually keep it on analytics. Because I like the analytics because if something really bad happens and I see this number drop off and stay off, I'll know that the thing bombed. But I think I'm actually going to start leaving it on viewer activity. Jory's here says bang desk, see if it fixes it. Riot9 says robot voice is back with $2 Australian. Thank you, Riot9. Much appreciated. Dragon Wing says audio. William Loesch says Roger. Michael Blade says crackling audio. Be gone demon. Power of Christ compels you. Be gone demon. Thanks, guys. One time we actually want YouTube to do the thing, says Finn. Audio's clipping. All right, cool. Finn FPV says weird like garbled delay on your voice. My ears. Audio. Just texted him. Checking in from work. Hopefully you're doing well, better. Hopefully you're still here, Rob. Thanks, brother. Ruby Tim says restart OBS. Audio fixed itself. What the fuck? Hey, it worked. We're back. It's solved. Woohoo. There it goes. Sweet, it's fixed. Exercise that demon. Michael Blade says fixed it. Stream's clean. Audio McDonald with another $2 super chat. He says audio is better. Thank you, Paul. Audio demon has been exercised. Exorcism 4. Ciotti Mike. Audio is good now, says the E-Doc. Banshee Frenzy Mike. Michael Blade says I'm 54. Just got my driver's license back after 12 years. Keep the positive vibes. Congrats, Michael Blades. That's huge, man. Fuck yeah. Roblox says, so what is this? You broke some quads? Say it isn't so. Yeah, right. CiottiFPV says one of my buddies charges at 9C. LOL. Whoo, that's pushing it. Damn. 9C is a lot. That's scary. YouTube did a thing, scrolling back up. Freeloader says your computer is angry. You are wanting a new one? Yeah, right. Paul McDonald says we don't care. During that time, we had 3 people join the stream and 0 leave. You're gravy man. Nice. I love that. Marcel Off Access FPV says, don't worry about it. It's fine. You got this, with a 5 Canadian dollars super chat. Thank you, Marcel. Much appreciated, brother. Ken Hill says, I thought it was a bad USB port. It's not. I've tried all different USB ports. It has nothing to do with that, unfortunately. I've tried different cables. I think it's related to Google Chrome. That's we've done probably 10 hours of talking about this over the last 6 months. I think it has something to do with Google Chrome, or it could have something to do with this mic, but I don't know. God only knows what it is. King Turkey says, oversharing, I feel you on that one. It's a shame. Sharing your life's experiences has a tendency to come back to haunt you. Then fighting yourself not leaves you feeling wanting. Yeah, right. Ricardo Ferreira says, hang in there a year or so. I'll be stronger than today. Goddamn right I will. I'm stronger today than I was yesterday. That's all that matters at this point. Steve O says, it works for me. Scrolling. Bob Noxious says, I gotta go. Dad probably forgot I'm coming today. Dementia, but he will ask me later if we're going flying. Hit you up later. Chat, take care. Later. Thanks for hanging, Bob. You're probably already gone, though, because I'm so behind. Ruby Tim says, I have an extra set of kitchen knives I'll send you. Guys, make sure if you're going to send something, hit me up first, because I don't want to have, like, multiple people sending stuff, and then I don't know what to do with it, and I'm like, Marcel Faxa says, Ciotti's going to have a whole crap load of knives soon. Guess better than dicks. Hey, I'm caught up. Look at that. Let's fix some shit. Why is that camera view so close? I gotta get another cough drop here. My throat's really killing me. S-race. Shit. Alright. Ken Hill's looking for a new computer chair. The only recommendation I can give you, Ken, is to not buy a racing seat computer chair. Racing seats are good for racing, but they're not good for computer chairs. You know what's good for computer chairs? A computer chair. So go to the computer chair store and buy a computer chair. Racing seats have very little to no lower back support, no lumbar. And they're too tall on your thighs because they're meant to hold you in when there's lateral grip, when there's lateral G-forces rather being applied. And when you're on the computer, there's typically no lateral G-forces being applied. So don't fall into the trap that many people have fallen into and buy a racing chair for your computer chair. Unless you're only doing it for looks. If it's a decision based on looks and you like the way racing seat computer chairs look, then awesome. But yeah, buy a racing chair for your race car and buy a computer chair for your computer. In my opinion, the racing chairs also typically lack some adjustments. There was an article written about this relatively recently, how bad all of these racing chairs are for your back when you're sitting at the computer for long hours. That's kind of the other thing, right? Racing chairs aren't meant to be sat in. Racing seats aren't meant to be sat in 8 hours a day every single day. They're meant for short stints, typically. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. If you guys have a different opinion, that's totally fine. But I've spent a lot of time in racing seats through autocross and track days and as an instructor and whatnot. And I would never, ever, ever one of those as a desk chair. They're just they're just not meant for that. I think I also blew up this antenna, unfortunately, but that's okay. I have a million extra. So here's the damage from that crash in the opening of the video. I managed to. I've actually never broken a glide arm like this. This is kind of impressive. But I think the motor survived. Yeah, the motor survived. So this rig, this is going to be the last remaining rig. No, it's not. No, it's not. So I'm going to take the motors off of this rig, and I'm going to switch them. Oh, man. Well, I got a lot of work to do on this rig. So the red rig here, so between these two rigs, there are 8 T-Motor F40 Pro 2s. These are the old T-Motor F40 Pros. They're hard to find, and these are the last 8 that I have. I could buy more, but I'm going to move over to the Pro 4s. So, and I banged one of these 8 up. See how that propeller stops? It doesn't keep spinning. It should. It's supposed to keep spinning and spin down like that. This motor bell got bent, and so now I only have 7 good T-Motor F40 Pro 2s. So I'm going to take this motor off. I'm going to replace it with one of these, and then I'm going to take the other 3 of these off here, and I'm going to replace all the motors on this rig with T-Motor F40 Pro 4s, which I do have a full set of at the moment. And then, yeah, the red rig is going to be the last of the Mohicans on Pro 2s. The reason why I'm doing that is that the red rig has the 20x20 Acon in it. So the red rig is always the first rig that I fly, and I beat on the worst because I'm just continuing to stress test this 20x20 Acon. At this point, that's kind of dumb because I have fucking abused this thing beyond the bounds of rational thought, and this 20x20 Acon has proved itself to be fucking bulletproof. But what I like about this rig is that the 20x20 Acon is a little bit lighter weight than the 30x30s. So this is my lightest weight rig, so it makes sense to fly it the most. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's what we're going to be doing here today. So let me desolder the motors. I can do that first. I don't think it really matters what order I do stuff in. Marcel says, how about some metal props? No. Oh, God, no. These things are dangerous enough as is. Beginning says, I guess it's better than Dick's. CiottiFPV 2021. Freeload just says, tape the knives under stuff around your house. Yikes. Double A says, I've had iron since Christmas, and the thing goes down on me now. That's not nice to call your wife or girlfriend a thing. Hey-oh! I have the same body frame as CiottiFPV. Like, this seat is a piece of shit. Oh, you're talking about a seat. Okay, gotcha. Right 9 says, at least you'll have 3 spare bells. Yep, exactly. Tark61 says, do you 3D print your own TPU parts? I do not, Tark. There are so many people in this chat with 3D printers that love 3D printing me stuff and offer all the time that I just let chat 3D print me stuff. I don't necessarily have the room here. I live in a very small apartment. And I know myself. I know that if I were to get a 3D printer, that it would become another hobby and I would spend more time on it than I should. I really try to focus my time here on FPV stuff and hanging out with you guys. So yeah, no plans for getting a 3D printer anytime soon, if ever. S. Grace says, did you see the video from Chris Rosser about vibration issues coming from the antenna? I did, Ask. We talked about that a little bit on Yeah, double A. It's completely destroyed. All right. It's fully annihilated. Not festival braces, Dingle. Just bracelets that I bought. Trying to be a little more stylish now. I don't know, for better or worse. Dating, man. Yes, S. Grace. We talked about it on Friday a little bit. I thank God for Chris Rosser, man. That realization that he made is a really big deal. A really, really, really big deal. Yeah, it could explain mysterious tuning issues that a lot of us have had for a long time. So yeah, really, really, really good, like, investigative reporting on Chris Rosser's side there. That's just fantastic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm actually not going to tell you, because you need to be watching Chris Rosser. You need to be subscribed to him. You need to be watching all of his videos. He's a fucking amazing guy that breaks things down in a way that you can actually understand it. So go show the man some love. Somebody, can a moderator drop a link to Chris Rosser's channel? You guys all need to be subscribed to him. He's doing God's work, and the absolute least that we can do to thank him is give him a subscription. But yeah, I'm also going to do you guys a favor and force you to watch his stuff, because he explains shit in a way that makes sense, and he makes PowerPoints, and he like types shit out, and it's just great. It's just really, really, really great. So yeah, support him. Join his Patreon too while you're at it. He does have a Patreon. The more money we throw his way, the more time he'll be willing to spend, like, figuring more shit out for us. He does have like a full-time job outside of FPV. FPV is totally just for fun for him. But yeah, if we make sure that we support the hell out of him, then it'll just, not saying that like he'll ever, or I doubt that he'll ever go like full-time FPV, but you know, if we're giving him $1,000 a month through Patreon, he'll be very driven to spend a good amount of time on FPV stuff, right? It's just sort of how it works. Capitalism at its best, even though it's the worst. Okay, why is this not melting? Oh, it is melted. I just didn't notice it. Gotcha. Got it. I'm very, very, very tempted to try out the V4 steel motors. A, they make them in red, so I mean that's pretty amazing. But B, they're talking a lot about improvements to durability, and that's a big deal. The T-Motor F40 Pro 4s have been pretty durable. I got to give it up. They've been pretty durable. But yeah, if the new steel motors are more durable, then I'll definitely be switching to those, and still have good, I mean, I'm sure that they'll have good throttle resolution, because steel is crazy about that. Crazy in a good way. So yeah, I'm very, very, very tempted to try a set, but they're kind of expensive. I'm pretty dug into these F40 Pro 4s, and I have a bunch of extras, so it's hard to justify spending $100. Well, actually, $130 basically, because I got to get 5 of them. On motors that are not interchangeable with the F40 Pro 4s. So I'm just taking the motor screws out. You guys aren't missing anything. Jackalope says, what else can the collective help you out with? Don't worry about that, man. You guys help me plenty. You guys are doing perfect, man. Everything that you guys do is amazing, and yeah, I'm a lucky dude to have such a cool group of people willing to help out. All right, so we got to put it on new. You know what? I might actually switch this. I'm gonna switch this arm out. Man, I got a lot of work to do on this rig. This rig has taken some serious abuse. Both front arms, the devil horns are bashed all the way back to the screw. This is why these devil horns are the shit, man. This is the devil horn saving the motor. Like, this is a big deal. But yeah, I am gonna switch this. I'm gonna switch this arm out. And then I gotta switch out the one back arm. I might switch out the other back arm while I'm at it. Yeah, I got some work to do up in here. This rig has taken some violence. Trini Druid says, agreed. Ordered the AOS 5 on day one. Man, I would really, I'm really tempted to try to get my hands on one, but like, I'm just really kind of locked into the glides. The way that I build them, the accessories that I have, the TPU that I have, like everything I have is and it's a great frame. Like yes, the AOS 5 would almost certainly give me slightly better vibration isolation performance, but I don't have that problem with the glide. Like, it would be kind of solving a problem that I don't really have. Like, my tune is fantastic. Yeah, like, it's yeah. There are more reasons for me to not switch than there are to switch. How about that? That should make sense to everyone. Michael Blade says, wow, the devil horns saved the day. Yeah, they always do, Michael. That's why I'm such a lunatic about the devil horns, because, like, time and time again, they save motors. Like, every single time, not every single time, but most times I have a big hard crash, there's a big chunk taken out of the devil horn carbon, and it's like, okay, if that wasn't there, that chunk would have been taken out of the motor. And I would be fucking around here in the back of the car with a soldering iron trying to swap a motor to keep flying this rig. Or, in reality, I would just put that rig in the front seat and grab another one. But you know what I mean. Every single time a devil horn gets smashed, that energy would have gone into the motor bell. And usually the motor bells are not going to survive that, because they're like, you know, they need to be straight. You can't... they can't take much abuse before they go to hell. And the carbon can. Carbon can take a lot of abuse before it needs to be swapped out. So yeah, every time I have to swap out an arm before the arm is broken, because the devil horns have blown off all the way down to the screws, on one hand it's like, oh, I wish the arm had just broken. But on the other hand, it's like, well, shit, I mean, who cares? It saves a $25 motor. Good to go. Next arm, you know? $4 whole. Oh, damn. What a set of props cost. Alright, motors are removed. Now we get to start swapping arms. And we're going to have to swap a bunch, because we got some serious... There's been an assault on this quad. I might actually swap all 4 arms. Let's get these guys up. Man, what I could do is put these front arms on the rear, because I tend to I do that a good amount to get a little bit more life out of the arms. Ouch. Even after the what the hell just stabbed me? That was weird. To just you know, me being a cheap bastard. When the devil horns get really battered on the front arms, I'll put them on the back because I don't usually back the rig into stuff. Like these front spots usually get annihilated when I'm flying really low to the ground and I hit like curbs and shit and speed bumps. In the rear, I tend to not really smash the back arm. In the rear, I tend to hit these outer arms, these outer points more when the rig comes down sideways and shit. I don't usually back into stuff. Well, I do back into stuff, but I don't back into stuff going fast. When I really punish these guys here, it's when I'm nose down going really fast forward flight, and I'll hit like a curb at 60 miles an hour. That really doesn't happen. I don't go that fast going backwards because if you were, you would just be looking up at the sky, right? Because to pitch down hard enough to go really fast backwards, the GoPro is going to be looking pretty much straight up. Tiago says, I hope Bob will make a glide version based on Chris's info. Yeah, so Tiago, I know that Bob and Chris have been talking a lot, so I am certain that there will be some really cool glide stuff coming. No clue when, but yeah, I am sure that future Rugi products will have a lot of Chris knowledge baked into them, which is kind of the best of like, I mean, like, we are very lucky. We've got a dentist who doesn't really care about making any money through the FPV products that he sells, so he pretty much sells them all for cost. And then we've got Chris Rosser, who's kind of in the same situation where, like, I assume he certainly should make really good money at his day job, and he's just doing all of this analysis for funsies because he's an enthusiast. So, like, man, we've got some really cool shit going on in FPV right now. We're pretty lucky. What's up, CMYK? How are you, man? Audio message. Oh shit. Hold on, friends. Sick. Yeah. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. All right. We are not going to get this done. This is a lot of work. This is gonna bleed over into tomorrow night, maybe even into Tuesday. But that's okay. That is okay. Yeah, I need to switch out this fucking antenna, and this is gonna be we are gonna almost rebuild this rig. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do about the front arm situation here. See, so that's all fucking, yeah, I'm just going to put, I think I'm putting, I mean, this arm I can maybe no, I'm going to put 4 new arms on this. This is going to be a total teardown. So we're just going to remove the entire base plate, which is kind of, I'm going to do it, I'm actually going to do it 1 arm at a time. The problem with doing all 4 at once is the standoffs start like wanting to fall out and move around and stuff, and it's just kind of easier to do it 1 arm at a time. So let's just get that going here. Let's get that going. Go-Kart Mozart says we'd be lucky if there wasn't a chip shortage. Yeah, it's true, man. That is true. What's up, Fairly Functional? Ken Hill says, damn, just swap all 4. Yeah, we swapping all 4. We swapping all 4. We're not fucking around, and that's all we do is fuck around, but you guys know what I mean. Put the nut grabber away. All right, no nuts will be grabbed on today's live stream. I hope you guys are supportive of that. I'm also going to re-shrink wrap, I think, these LED race wires because they are looking kind of ragged at this point. My God, the amount of work required on this rig is crazy, but that's okay. When you fly hard and crash a lot, this is what happens. Oh man, I might even... Oh wow, one of these motor wires just popped off. Okay, wow. Next level. Super Deluxe's other account. It's funny you mentioned that, Super. We were just talking about those motors a couple minutes ago. I'm really interested in them. The problem is, I'm pretty... I have a lot of T-Motor F40 Pro 4s, which weigh the same and probably make a little bit more horsepower. So it's tough for me to justify spending $130 on 5 of the V4 Stout motors when I already have a whole bunch of the Pro 4s here. Man, I would love to though. I would really love to try them out, and maybe I will. But yeah, I'm still trying to like convince myself, kind of thing. So we'll see. I'm not totally sure. Let me get some Superbot 10. Very cool. Where am I at here? There we go. Definitely let me know how you like them. That's yeah, they're probably really good. I'm very interested to know whether or not they're durable. That was the real that's been the problem with all of the steel motors so far, is that they've been very, very fragile. But they're saying that they're saying in a lot of the marketing materials that that they made these V4s durable. So yeah. Wow, and I just noticed that the TPU is also ripped. Jesus, these glides have taken some abuse this year. See TPU. So I need to repair that as well. Let me do this. Let me take the top plate off because I need to repair the TPU. I need to switch the antenna out. God knows what... no, let me not take the top plate out because of what I was talking about a minute ago. It makes swapping the arms a little bit harder. So let's just put fresh arms on first. Where are we at? 2 hours, 3 minutes? So what I'll probably do is swap these arms out and then we'll wrap it up for the day. There's a chance I'll maybe do a Patreon-only stream tonight. So if you have $3 whole, go ahead and head on over to CiottiFPV.com, click the Patreon button, and join my Patreon. There are so many benefits. You're going to love it. It's going to easily pay for itself. You're going to get way more than $3 a month value out of it. So just go do it. And then once you've done it, you can hang out with me later tonight. How about that for a sales pitch? What the hell is going on here? Oh, there we go. I was putting a round peg into a closed up hole. Metal Dirtskin with a $20 super chat. He says, to add to the car, computer, kitchen fund, even make a Sunday stream for once too. Thank you so much, Mel. It's very cool of you. FPV Hawk says, goodbye, CiottiFPV. I need to go to sleep. It's getting late in Germany. Thanks for hanging, Hawk. Hell yeah, Metal. Thanks, brother. Very, very cool of you to support the madness, and the madness is me. What's going on here? Why won't this, do I just need to push harder? That's what she said. Yep, that was the issue. I just needed to push harder. Let me refresh the Loctite on these. I kind of forgot to do that. I like to try to add a little bit of extra Loctite when I don't see a lot of Loctite on the end of the screws. And then eventually the Loctite will build up and it'll be great. And they won't back out anymore. Alright. So we got some on there. And then we're going to send that little fella home here. Are you too good for your home? Answer me. Alright, cool. That's going. And then... Holy shit! Super Deluxe's other account just sent $49.99 with a big old heart. Bro, you continue to outdo yourself with your incredible generosity. Ooh, to the FPV community. Super Deluxe, if you're not subscribed to Super Deluxe, you're just an idiot. No, you're not just an idiot. You just didn't know. Super did 10 $100 giveaways the other night. I sent as many people over as I possibly could. Yeah, Homeboy is way, way, way generous. And the people that we have like that in this community, man, I can't like thank them enough. It's so fucking cool to have such generous people hanging out amongst us mere mortals. So yeah, if you're not subscribed to Super Deluxe's main account, go now, or I will kill your whole family. Maybe even subscribe to his other account. T-Bird FPV, not to be outdone. He's sending $19.99. He says, love y'all, bro. Hopefully see you soon. Yeah, Tyler, I need to get back to you, man, on what the hell's going on. My Saturdays are a little bit up in the air right now. Thank you so much, T-Bird. Very, very cool of you. You guys are fucking awesome. Ugh, there we go. Super Deluxe says, he'll do it. I won't. I promise. I promise I won't kill anyone. Oh, wow. Why do I have to... Why is that a disclaimer that I have to give on my live streams? Should I not be threatening people's lives anymore? Is that... has that run its course yet? I don't think it has. I don't care if it has. I like doing it. I'm going to keep doing it. Each and every stream, you guys get more and more of a window into why I'm now single, I think. Alright, let me get this cranked down. Alright, one arm is done. Jesus. Okay, let's just keep going. I'm going to leave this little guy out. And let's do arm number 2. We're a little over 2 hours. I think everyone should give that disclaimer. Freelojo says, Abraham says, gonna hit the bricks. Thanks for the stream. Hit me up about the car. Cheers, buddy. Thanks again, Aber. Super, super, super cool of you. Ridiculously cool of you. What am I doing? I should change this broken arm because it keeps like flexing and getting all janky, but whatever. Fuck it. Fuck the broken arm. That's what I say. Okay. Let's go to the 2.5 for the outer arm bolt. So yeah, just in case you're wondering, I use the big screws for the outer arm bolts because you can really crank down on those, and those are the bolts that back out more often than the inner ones. And then I use button heads on the inners because you don't really need to crank down on the inners as much, and the button heads save you a little bit of weight. And then I also use these little aluminum cup bastards, just in the thought process of Immersion RC uses, or Impulse RC uses them to kind of spread the load out that you put on this when you really crank them down. And I really bury those outer screws. I crank them down incredibly hard. So my philosophy is that, yeah, I want to just kind of press that force out over a little bit bigger of a distance than the head of the screw. All right, another fresh arm going in, going on. And we're going to refresh a little bit of Loctite on this guy before we put him back in there. And when I say refresh, I mean I'm just going to add more Loctite to the screw. That's all I'm talking about. So, where's that hole? That's what she said. Wait, no, it's not. That's what he said. There's the hole. All right, we're gonna send this guy home here. No skids. Skids are a little too heavy for me. I run foam pads that I either wrap in electric tape or sometimes I'll just leave them naked. The TPU and or the plastic skids are just a little too girthy. I'm a weight Nazi, so I pay really close attention to the amount of weight on the ends of the arms. I can actually feel a pretty drastic difference when adding and or removing as little as 1 gram from the ends of the arms. It's one of the reasons why I run 2306s over 2207s. They're a little bit lighter, and it's why I only run T-Motor F40 Pro 4s. All of the other 2306s are way too heavy, in my opinion. They're like almost 2+ grams heavier than the T-Motor line. That's also why I'm interested in the new steel motors, because if they're as durable as the T-Motor F40 Pro 4s, and you know they still make good power and have good throttle feel and all the other things, then yeah, I'll be happy with that. But all things considered, I'm pretty dialed in and locked into the T-Motors if I'm really honest. So I kind of doubt that I'll switch, but you never know. You never do know. If they're good enough, then yeah, I'll be able to justify the extra money. Well, they're not really extra. They're only a couple dollars extra compared to the F40 Pro 4s. But again, I've got a lot of F40 Pro 4s here, and I've got a bunch of extra bells and a bunch of extra stators, so it'll literally save me money to stay on the F40s. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. We shall see. What I'll probably do is hold off and keep an ear out as to whether or not they're durable from people that I know crash a lot on concrete. And if they get good reviews from those people, then maybe I'll try a set. But the track record of the steel motors in terms of durability has been pretty bad. So I'm not going to dive right in. because yeah, I mean, TBS motors in general have a pretty negative track record for in terms of durability, which is why I've never run any, and kind of actively stay away from them, which is a shame because I was really excited about Tommy's hex nut shaft motors, but yeah, they're made by TBS, and that scared me. And they're also the main factor though was that they're heavy. They're heavy motors. That was really the deal breaker for me. I was willing to give them a shot, and overlook the fact that they're made by TBS, but once I bought one, like I do, and I weighed it, and I was like, oh, no, it's a little too heavy. It's as heavy as all the other 2306s, but it's not as light as the F40 Pro 2s or the F40 Pro 4s or the steel motors. And yeah. Yeah. What's up, Drone Pilot? Freelojo just got a huge pack of foam stickies for cheap on Amazon. Yeah, the ones on Amazon are okay. I really prefer these strips that you can get from Impulse RC. They're a pain in the ass to buy them because Impulse is in Australia. But the adhesion between the adhesive itself and the... Man, this fucking GoPro mount is worked. This is going to be hard to put back together. This is going to be hard to melt back together. I might need to finally replace one of these GoPro mounts, my god. Yeah, the adhesion between the foam itself and the adhesive is amazing. That's the problem that I have with the Amazon ones, is you put them on, and then the foam rips right off of the adhesive. And then it's like, oh, I'll put another one on, and then it happens again. Another one on, and it happens again. Oh, man. This mount is fucked. Woo! Jeez. Yeah, I'm going to retire this one. This is a first, boys and girls. This is the first time that I have finally beaten one of these BMC 3D front mount session mounts to the point where I'm going to replace it. I'll be damned. That fucking took long enough, man. These things are like almost 2 years old. Incredible. Incredible. See, I'm going to retire this one because it just ripped. It ripped in a way that I don't think I'm going to be able to melt that back together properly and have it be strong. Let's see, though, because it is fun to to play with fire and to fix TPU. See what we can do here. Just kind of use gravity to let the TPU flow once you have it heated up to a point where it's liquid. It's a little, the game that you play is not putting too much heat in to the point where it'll ooze where you don't want it. Alright, I guess I don't have to replace this because it's actually flowing back together pretty good. No, it's not. It's doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. The bolt hole is starting to move to where I don't want it to move. And I can just throw the bolt in there and try to like but see, that's hard because it moves everything around. Come on. Come on, little buddy. Live to fight another day. No, there's no reason. There's no reason to not just get a quick fresh one from BMC 3D. Also, I've been wanting to put the a Hero 8 mount onto one of these glides. I usually don't blow up all three of them, so this is a good little excuse. That's actually somewhat acceptable. Like, that would probably work. That would probably be somewhat strong. Like, kind of just strong enough sort of thing. But, yeah. We're gonna... I'll get a new one. Wow, no, that's actually totally fine now. Yeah, that hole, yeah, the putting the screw in there, move the hole just enough. Well, here's what I'll do. I wasn't gonna put TPU in the glides that I'm building to sell. I'll throw this into one of them just because it's better than nothing. But I am gonna order another one of these on BMC 3D. Oh my god! Drone pilot's been testing Nachi versus Smooth using video noise. That's interesting. Against debug raw noise. Found that on 5-inch and larger quads it has no effect. Yeah, that's been pretty much my experience as well. The only thing we could find with any consistency was the bearing types. That's interesting. Noise generated by the motor. That's pretty cool. Frank says a good hot air gun would avoid the toxic fumes and loss/burning of TPU. That's interesting. I wouldn't. So the problem there would be, I don't know if a hot air gun with a tiny little, like I need to apply heat to like a 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter space. I don't know of any hot air guns most hot air guns have a big ass nozzle, and that would just heat the whole area, and then the whole area would just sag and go to hell. I need to be able to very, very, very precisely put heat exactly where I need it, and like no heat where I don't want it. That's why like the rest of this mount still looks good, right? Like if I hit this thing with a hot air gun, this whole corner would sag and it would start to warp around. It's one of the things you got to really be careful of, and it's why these shitty little gas station torches are perfect, is because the little cone of fire is like absolutely minuscule, so you can just focus on like the tiny little part that's separating, and then not let the heat spread out anywhere else, because you don't want that. You don't want the heat to spread anywhere. You want it just in the exact little spot. It's a cool idea, though. I never thought about that, Frank. Go-Kart Mozart says an old cheap soldering iron does a cleaner job. I disagree, Go-Kart. I used a soldering iron for a long time. This works much, much better in my experience. T-Bird says, what's the best overall GoPro? No such thing. I mean, there's just, I mean, the Hero 8 seems like the best according to all of the film houses for cinematic stuff, and then the Sessions are the best for freestyle. But yeah, there's definitely not like an overall best, because they all have very specific advantages. Frank says you can get hot air guns with about a 4 millimeter opening. Your flame is heating at least as much area. That's pretty cool. Brian Lattenbrough says hot air station for $50 has a very small tip and is super useful for everything. I have a feeling that's almost what Frank is talking about. Very cool. And then Frank dropping an Amazon link. Interesting idea. I probably won't move forward with it, because those are things that are not free, and this is here. But for anybody that wants to be a little bit safer and smarter than me, there's a couple of really good options for you. Love it. Love it! Jesus. That one was not loose. Alright, so we're gonna, well, you guys have seen me do two of these arms. The other two arms are exactly the same, so I'm actually going to call it for this live stream. And maybe you patrons will see me later on tonight. And if you're not on my Patreon yet and you want to see me fix the rest of this thing, head on over to CiottiFPV.com, hit the Patreon button, or just go to Patreon and search for CiottiFPV and join. It's $3 whole a month. That's 10 cents a day. It helps me out more than you can possibly imagine. And eventually we'll get to the 500 patron goal, and I will fly one of yous here. I will fly one of you here to Atlanta to fly with me for a weekend, or I will fly to you to fly in your hometown for a weekend. So let's get to 500 patrons. Jump onto patreon.com/CiottiFPV. Thank you for your lojo, and join, or I will murder you all, man. Promise I won't. King Turkey says, I second the hot air gun. You can get a rework station hot air soldering iron cycling for about $50. Has the fine nozzle for hot air. I'm sort of maxed out here in my desk with stuff, but I don't know. You never know. I do have the whole apartment to myself now. Maybe I'll move the office here to a different location, or I don't know. God only knows what'll happen moving forward. Alec Dvornik is in the house. He says, how's it going? Did I miss the cursing on this build, or more to come? No cursing, Alec. This has been a little bit of a rough stream, though, for reasons. If you want to rewatch it, you'll learn things about my personal life. Rob Oxenden says, Cyclone FPV, $46. Frank says, looks like even smaller. Look at the Amazon link. Cool. I'm going to check out that Amazon link. You guys be good. Maybe go fly if it's still light out where you're at. I'm going to go hang out with a new friend that I made. And I really need to just kind of get out of this space right now. I just need to get the fuck out of this apartment right now because it's, rewatch the stream if you don't know what I'm talking about. Thanks for hanging out, people. CiottiFPV.com has a million ways you can support me on this crazy journey because this is my full-time job. Here's some more flying from... Oh, wait, no. Let me give you a different memory card. Hold on. I haven't even watched this other memory card yet, so here. This is going to be more flying from the stadium. This is going to be with the red rig. I kind of forgot that I flew the red rig a bunch. Yeah, I haven't looked at this footage yet, so you guys will get to see it along with me for the first time. And I don't know, maybe that's exciting. Maybe not. I was flying pretty well though. So this is going to be footage from the red rig, which is a little bit lighter. Maybe you'll be able to tell a difference in the lightness of the rig. I can't when I'm flying. The red and the purple rigs fly exactly the same to me. This is also the first 3 batteries that I flew. I'm going to give you guys the 3rd battery that I flew at Stadium yesterday. So here you guys go. Enjoy this. Let me throw some music under it. And keystrokes are broken. Thanks a lot, OBS. Alright, here comes some music. Thanks for hanging out, friends. I fucking love you guys. Unbelievable generosity here today. You guys are very, very kind and very, very generous, and it's I'm a lucky man. I'm a lucky dude. Enjoy some flying from yesterday. Love you guys.
So